So, speaking of numbering, when I got the Waltz Empire in, I opened the box. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're numbered, and I'm starting to pull them out. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're not sequential. It's just kind of random. And I'm like, no, they're are sequential, but it's one of these. Dave signed 10, set them aside. Dave signed 10, set them aside. So then I spent 20 minutes putting all of them in order and writing down what numbers I had, so that when I did the blog post about it, I could say these are the numbers I have. If you want your can number and I have it, I will give you that number. And Larry Wooten was one of the first guys to respond of, yes, I want one, and my can number is 11, and I don't have 11. But I had 110, so I signed it to him and circled the number and wrote on the back, you just got to subtract 99.
There you go. There you go. Yes. Count your blessings.
And then there was somebody else that they wanted 69, and I had 69, so they got that. Margaret wanted one, and I'm like, okay, what number do you want? She's like, I just get the lowest number on the can that they can give me. And I'm like, oh, I have number 4. Do you want number 4? She's like, yeah, I want number 4. And I'm like, it's one of those, it's just a comic book, but now there's a separate number, so this comic book isn't the same as that comic book, isn't the same, and, I could see, like, I was going through, like, hey, I have 37, that's my can number, I guess this is the one I'm going to keep for me.
Right.
My motorcycle club's number is 111, so my dad collects 111 anomalies. Like, if he gets a dollar bill with 3 ones on it, he keeps it, and he's got a and there's a point thing in the club where if you find him, you get points, but if you're an officer in the club, you can't get points, and it's complicated. So I called him going, hey, I have 111, do you want it? And he's like, well, I kind of have a lot of stuff in my life. I'm not looking to add. And I'm thinking, Dad, it's a comic I wrote. How many comics have I written? Well, if you want to hang on to it for the club, no, I want to send it to you so you can read and be all like, hey, that was really funny. Do it again. I'm looking for the pat on the head, Dad. No. I don't need anything.
Not a chance. Not a chance. If you haven't got comic books in your blood, it's
He did when he was a kid, but then when I was like 10 or 11, I went to visit him, and we went to a comic book show, and it was it was a very small, at a Holiday Inn, in the Ramada room. There was a couple of dealers set up, no guests, no signature, just a bunch of comic book resellers with their stuff. And whatever year it was the 30th anniversary of the Avengers. And so there's, Avengers stuff all over the place. My dad's going, the Avengers? You mean with Peel and Steed? And I'm like, no, Dad, with Captain America.
That would have been 1994 in that case, wouldn't it? Or 1993?
Yeah, it was 90. No, it was 94. I think that was because that was the year that... because he was living in St. Louis, and they had the big flood where the Mississippi overran the banks, and we volunteered to go sandbag. He's like, well, come on, we're going out. And so we went to this neighborhood, and we're sandbagging, and the army's there running things, but it's all volunteers filling sandbags, trying to save this levee, because it hasn't broken yet. And my dad starts joking with everybody, what are you guys going to do when you find out that the guy whose house we're sandbagging is a snowbird, and he's down in Florida right now? And it turned out that the guy 2 over was the actual owner of the house, and he's like, oh no, I live here. And Dad's, okay, and they're talking and joking, having fun, and then the guy's like, yeah, but the neighbors are in Florida right now. And we spent all day sandbagging, and then 2 days later the levee burst, and my dad turned to me at breakfast and went, yeah, you didn't pack them bags tight like I told you to.
There you go. Well, yeah, you're not going to get a pat on the head from your dad for a comic book. It's just one of those things. But yeah, I've been thinking, what if I auctioned the earliest numbers every month, like 4 through 10, sort of thing, on eBay, and would people get competitive about it? Like I was thinking, the really cool
the way I would do it is figure out if it was an ongoing series, what issue number it would be, and that number goes on eBay of, okay, this is number 38, and next month we're going to auction 39, and then 40 and 41. Of if this was legacy numbering, this would be the legacy number.
Right.
Because then you get the real competitive people of, well, now I need issue 50 and issue 51 and issue 52 of every month.
It is an interesting effect, though, that the numbers are such a huge part of comics that I really didn't anticipate. This is going to be tough on you, like sending 3 copies to Doug Filippa in Manitoba. Doug Filippa's Comic World. He's the one selling me my Canadian price variant. I said, I'll send you Green Dante, Green Virgil when it comes in. And then that was right in the middle of the COVID-19 thing. And I said, you can tell what I think of you by how low the number is. It's like, it was a joke, but it's not really a joke. It's like, Dave, you've got a box full of these things. Just pull out a copy for Doug and a copy for Dave, both at Comic World, and get Rolly to send them to him. And the same thing with the Waltz Empire. It's like, well, which ones am I going to send to Matt? It's like, well, it's Matt's book. Matt did virtually everything on there, so why don't you just grab a bunch of them? And so that's what I did. I just now we're starting to develop a protocol where I don't even open the box until Rolly gets here, because Rolly puts them all in order, because he can actually see the little numbers. I got to have my magnifying glass out to see what the numbers are on the front cover. So the first couple of times that I did that, man, that took like an hour and a half putting them in order. But you're a comic book fan. You got to put them in order. You can't just have a bunch of numbers. You got to know which numbers you've got.
That's when I got all organized, and I laid them out so you could see all the numbers, and stood up on a chair, took a picture, and then took another picture from the edge, going off into the distance. And I'm like, why am I taking the time to do this? I'm going to crop the photo digitally so that it's only 1,000 pixels across. You're not going to be able to read any of the numbers no matter how much you zoom in.
Right.
But it's you're a comic book fan. You have to do this, otherwise you're going to kick yourself for, I only get to take this